Shalom Israel, Shalom. This is the brother Quatazi Hawa back at it with another lesson. Abaratazah, this be quick, fast, straight to the point. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to my teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there laboring in this truth and faith and sincerity. Shalom to you families out there watching, waiting, praying on Yahweh Shah's second return. Peace and blessings to the house of David, the hopeful elect. All right, so I came across this article and it reads, F-16s scramble twice to intercept unidentified objects. And the first thing that it brought to mind, seeing the picture of these two fighter jets was the fact that in recent years, the United States military have footage captured, of them. It's different videos out there of the U.S. military trying to shoot down chariots. All right. Chariots in the Bible are, what are deemed in the world, are, deemed here or in the real world, if you will, outside the Bible. Chariots are UFOs. All right. So-called UFOs. All right. If you had a spirit of understanding to receive it, then you know that these chariots are angelic vehicles piloted by angels. All right. And no army can take them down, man. All right. That's just flat out just the bottom line. No army on this earth, no weaponry, nothing that these humans have can touch one of those chariots, man. All right. Air Force F-16 fighter jets scrambled twice Sunday to intercept what officials described as an unidentified object flying at high altitude over Northern California, according to flight tracking data and military radio communications reported by Aircraft Spot on Twitter or X. Two F-16s, call signs Surf 31 and Surf 32, launched from March Air Reserve Base to identify and intercept the object, which was reported heading northeast at high altitude in controlled airspace. Before the fighters arrived, a civilian cargo aircraft in the area reported seeing the object and described it as glowing and dimming, according to air traffic communications review by aviation monitors. And in the scriptures, chariots are described in several ways. A flying roll, wheels of fire, clouds. All right. Because chariots can cloak themselves as well. All right. They can cloak themselves as clouds. A Boeing KC-135 stratotanker using the call sign Gas MN03 provided aerial refueling support to the F-16s during the mission, letting them remain in the area longer. However, while on final approach to March Air Reserve Base, the F-16s and the KC-135 were retasked after additional reports of an unidentified object in Northern California airspace. The aircraft again proceeded north and arrived in the area about 10:45 a.m. After a brief period, they returned to base 35 minutes later, and that's all they give us on this article. And then there's another article here about it. But what inspired me to do this lesson was the fact that a prophecy that has yet to be fulfilled is, the war in heaven, which will be when Yahweh Shai comes back with this army of angels with him, an army of chariots, and the countries of this world, the countries on earth, United States, China, Russia, etc., will try to band together to fight Yahweh Shai and the angels, but ultimately they will be wiped out and destroyed. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, and verse 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Right? So when those chariots come, not only will they be beaming up the hopeful elect, right, but they'll also be fucking destroying shit. You know what I mean? Zapping people out of their clothes, zapping people in the dust, you know, setting fire to everything around, you know. It's a lot of precepts here. This is Ezekiel 1 and 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber out of the midst of fire. Right, so this is Ezekiel talking about seeing the chariot. All right, and as we just read here, how did they describe it? Described it as glowing and dimming. Right. And Ezekiel said, and a brightness was about it. Right. So this can, if you have the spirit of understanding, you understand that this likely was a chariot. All right. This likely was a chariot. That's why they don't give you no more details beyond, unidentified object. And clearly it was a flying object if it was in controlled airspace like they mentioned, right? So yeah, man, I just wanted to go ahead and hit the button and blow the horn on that, for you hopeful elect members out there. If you haven't already seen Chariots personally, which a lot of you brothers out there have, be prepared to see more. All right. And if you haven't seen any, be prepared to see some chariots. All right. I always give praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua when I see the chariots, because it's a faith booster. Really boost your faith, knowing that the angels are piloting those chariots and they're not far away. It's a beautiful thing. Let me go back real quick because I didn't want to make this too long, but I just wanted to make this real quick, blow the horn on that real quick. So what you could do if you want is, you could pause the video here, and this is a bunch of precepts to Isaiah 66 and 15, right, dealing with chariots, and you can grab those, all right, and read them yourself, right, because we also are supposed to do our own research, okay. So yeah, y'all can go ahead and grab that, so I won't have to sit here and go into each single one individually. I'm trying to keep this video to like a 5-minute limit, give or take. All right. So yeah, stay prayed up, repenting, calling on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, praying for mercy and forgiveness. Pray that we get to see the downfall of our enemies. All right, with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah Kwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you brothers out there laboring in this truth and faith and sincerity. Shalom to you families out there watching, waiting, praying on Yahweh Shai's second return. Peace and blessings to the house of David, the hopeful elect. And right now it's midnight, but it's Monday night, February 16th, so it's the new moon, so it's the Sabbath from Monday evening to Tuesday evening. So if you are, observing the Sabbath, I wish a good a Sabbath for you. a good day of rest. If you can't take off work, it is what it is. We're not set up on this side to even be able to do that. The majority of us got to work anyway, so it is what it is. Just continue rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of your ability. And treat this as a day of rest as well. Rest from, all that worldly outside shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, and just give reverence to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And give reverence to Yahweh Shai. All right, Shalom.